Psychic Mist Paranormal Network.
Hi, this is Cheryl with Psychic Mist, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's a video that I was inspired to make on a medication because it has such horrifying repercussions. I realize that this medication has helped many people. However, if you are one of the very many that it doesn't help, you're in for hell. And if you ever plan on getting off this medication, you're still in for hell. Someone very close to me and very dear to me has taken this medication, and it didn't help whatsoever. Instead, it just really gave him the most horrifying symptoms, and when he got off of this medication, it was pure hell. Because this medication is used to treat anxiety and depression, it works with your brain chemicals. And the effects, the absolutely horrifying effects of this medication actually started ripping this person's family apart. So in this video, I'm going to share ITC pictures and EVPs that I got from my research with this medication, and I think that you will find a lot of the results very uncanny. Here is the medication in question. You may recognize this medication as the antidepressant slash stress or anxiety medication, and also used for nerve pain, Cymbalta. Since our horrible experience with this gateway to hell medication has occurred, we've heard from many other people that have had very similar experiences, or even worse, which is hard to believe. So the very first thing I decided to do was an elemental ITC session. Okay, I have the drug from hell, Cymbalta, and I'm going to pour it into my pot of water. See if I can open it. Oh, they're harder to open than I thought. All these time-released little things. I have it in hot water. I don't know how long it'll take for this to dissolve. I might have to crush it. Oh, they're really hard. The whole idea here is to have the energy of the medication draw in like energy to itself. And we'll see what kind of energy and what kind of entities are attracted to this medication. I'm going to put a little more hot water in and then let it sit for about an hour so that I can really get the energies to build up inside of there. And then I'm going to do a water ITC session. Okay, we'll be back to see what happens. Okay, so it's been a little over an hour and I'm preparing to do the ITC session. Stay tuned to see what we get. I'm now going to show you the ITC pictures that came out. And please keep in mind that the energies and entities that you see in these pictures were drawn to the medication in question because they share some type of like energy. The following pictures show some pretty disturbed looking beings. Quite an unsettling and frightening picture, as it looks as though a demonic being with horns, it's kind of like a shadowy figure, is looking down upon what looks like a skeleton lying on some kind of a table. There are several skeleton pictures that came out, and the first one you've seen already, so I'm just going to flash through that one quickly. But skeleton pictures, that can never be good. Notice the head of this skeleton creature. It is in several sections, like it is symbolizing a scattered brain or issues with the brain. Here are several snake and reptile looking beings. Makes you kind of wonder what they're doing showing up in this. This picture is pretty creepy. It looks like a girl that has her hand up and touching her head. And it looks like she's looking into some kind of thing where there's a reflection of herself. You don't see the details on her face in her reflection that's looking back at us. But right behind her, there's a glowing being bearing down on her. So that's a very disturbing type of energy that is on her back, literally. This one's creepy as hell, and it's almost funny. It looks like the Grinch. This picture is actually frightening. I've seen a lot of these things, and I've been studying this stuff for decades. This is a picture of a little animal. It looks kind of like a bird. The top picture, it's light, it's full of life, and the bottom picture, you can see it is now dark and full of death. Scary. This is a mass-faced being, a very malevolent race of creatures. They claim that they have power all around different areas of the world. So for it to show up in this study isn't surprising. So this picture is of a dollar sign, and that's really what the pharmaceutical companies are all about, even at the expense of your health, or of course, that's the point. The numbers 17 and 79 in numerology come down to one number, which is the number 5. And in numerology, the number 5 signifies a big, big change. Could be to the good or to the bad. I'm going with the latter on this one. At first glance, you might be thinking, okay, so there are some numbers, and they're not really the numbers that are on the medication itself. This is true. However, these numbers do hold significance in numerology, and numerology does correlate to everything in life. And so now, of course, here comes this number 55. There's 2 more 5s, so 3 of these 5s triple the power of this negative effect of this medication. 55 also adds up in numerology to the number 1, which is a new beginning of a new part of your life. Nice and horrible. This number sequence is also very interesting. It is the number 76, but it's backwards. And 76 in numerology would add up to 4. 4 is the number of angels. But don't forget, there are also fallen angels. And I would say this applies because the 76 is backwards. This one here couldn't be any clearer, could it? This picture, F-O-L-L-A, I'm not sure if it's folla. It is a noun meaning multitude and hosts. So this could easily be taken to mean that there's a host of negative energies and multitude that messes with your brain chemicals. So get this one. This is GTN, or short for glycerin trinitrate, which is a medication that is used to treat high blood pressure and heart failure. Ding, ding, ding. This picture says I am. And I find this to be extremely interesting because the words I am is used as a mantra in a lot of practices. And the reason is this way they can embed something that they want in their life by using the mantra I am. They use this in different types of holistic things such as hypnosis, but it's also used in witchcraft and sorcery. There's a lot of things that go on that are very questionable, let's say, and for it to show up in something like this, it definitely makes you raise a few eyebrows. Here's one that simply says lid, L-I-D, close the lid on your bottle. No, I don't think that is what we're talking about. I'm suspecting something called low incidence disability, which is a severe condition that affects less than 1% of the incident rate. This one's really disturbing and scary too. It's LAR, which stands for lower anterior resection, which is a procedure, a surgical procedure to remove rectal cancer. the initials LWY, which stand for Laughing With You. I guess the joke's on us. And when all is said and done, this medication, well, it's just what this picture shows. It's a sin. Some of these pictures really speak volumes about the kind of medication that this really is. Check these EVPs out. They leave little room for doubt about just how bad this medication really is. Anything else you want to tell me about the medication concerning antidepressants? Sweat, yes, that's one of the withdrawal symptoms. Are medications for depression and anxiety, like Cymbalta, or are they purposely made to cause harm under the false pretenses of helping someone? Are they intended for malevolent purposes? Controls? Can you die from taking these medications? Has anyone here died? Anyone that I'm talking to? Did they really make Cymbalta with the intention of hurting people instead of helping them? Is this all a conspiracy? How about these snakes? What do the snakes symbolize? How do they affect your brain in the long run? Is Cymbalta dangerous? Oh. Is Cymbalta evil? It's deadly, it said. LAR, lower anterior resection. It's a colorectal cancer procedure. How is that related to Cymbalta? Can people get this condition because of this medication? A price. A price? It's a price that they pay for that? So how about the picture I have on the screen right now? What does that have to do with this medication? This is a picture of a nature spirit called an undine. This is also the picture that I had on my screen when I asked the EVP question of what this had to do with this medication. So in this picture, the word is sin. Why is this a sin? Is Cymbalta a sin? What are the long-term effects of these medications? What kind of problems can Cymbalta cause? So there you have it. Anxiety and depression meds are just awful, just like the spirit says. These medications are actually quite horrifying, and it's been confirmed by not only the spirit world, but the living world. This medication is like having a demon hand it to you and say, "Here, take it, trust me." You don't have to take my word for it, or the spirit's either. Do a little research for yourself, it'll scare you. This is a demon medication, and Cymbalta is the devil. This is Shar with Psychic Miss Paranormal. Thanks for watching.